UFC Fight Night Emmett vs Vallejos took place last night, and today I'm gonna go through every single fight. Well, not every single fight, but a lot of the fighters on the card, and tell you who they should fight next. Give you a timeline of when it should happen, and give you my reasonings for why it should happen. So yeah, let's go. Let's get straight into it. Main event: Kevin Vallejos. We smoked Josh Emmett. TRT Dana in the first round. I didn't think it was gonna happen that quick, but he fucking impressed me. He should fight Yair Rodriguez at International Fight Week. I know featherweight's like really booked up right now. I think the only people in the top 10 who don't have a fight are Gene Silva and Yair, which is why I've matched them up against each other. But fuck that. I want to see Yair versus Vallejos because I need to see Yair Rodriguez out fucking cold on the canvas. Kev's the guy to do it, man. So yeah, do this on International Fight Week. Also, get him out the Apex. He's had 4 UFC fights, and they've all been in the Apex. I know he's been a main event and stuff, and that's good for him, but why? You've got a chance to build a literal star, and you just shovel him in a warehouse where there's 1,000, not even 1,000, like 100 fans there. You can hear the individual things that they're saying. Get him in front of a crowd versus Yair. Tell Yair to stop ducking everyone, stop being a fucking bum. I need another hate watch for Yair. It's been a while. And yeah, I don't know who Gene Silva should fight because he's the only one left at featherweight. Maybe just wait for a loser of Lerone versus Movzar. Maybe a winner of Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Even though I wouldn't want to see the Lopez rematch yet, I do want to see it at some point. I feel like that is something that the UFC would do. Yeah, maybe just wait a little with Gene Silva. He has also been saying always stay ready and like big news coming soon on Twitter. So maybe they have already booked Yair versus Silva. Or maybe he's stepping in for Movzar because there's been rumours that Movzar's out. Or maybe he's fighting Volk, which would be awful, but it's something the UFC would do. So yeah, Kev versus Yair on International Fight Week. Kev also tweeted out the other day, well, today, that he wants to do it on the Noche card. Don't do that. We're not waiting 6 more months to have Yair fight. We're not waiting 6 months to have another Kev fight. Do it on International Fight Week on the main card. Everyone would be hyped. You can actually build up a star. And yeah. Next fight on the card, I think Josh Emmett should fight Nathaniel Wood if he wins next week. And maybe Keita if Keita wins. I wouldn't mind it. Now, this just depends on what... Actually, I'll say this first. If Emmett isn't ranked by the time Tuesday happens and they redo the rankings, do not do this fight. Nathaniel Wood deserves a ranked fight. I'm just thinking Emmett's going to be ranked about 14, 15. If Nathaniel Wood wins, you do the Emmett test. This is what we've been doing with all these featherweights on the come up. I know Wood's a bit older than they normally are, because the UFC are fucking wasting him and not letting him fight in the rankings. Either way. You do the Emmett fight, see if he's good enough to be in the top 15. If he beats Emmett, he is. If he doesn't beat Emmett, he isn't. And yeah, pretty simple. If Keita wins, like I said, maybe do it, but I'm not sure. I feel like they might have him fight outside the rankings again. And like I said, if he isn't ranked on Tuesday, then you don't do this fight. Then you do Wood versus like Onama if he wins or something like that. But yeah, Wood or Keita versus Emmett. Sick fight. I'm worried for Nathaniel Wood. I might pick Keita. I just put him in because I wanted to win. You know, hopefully we can like fucking cause the MMA gods to give him the dub because he deserves it. But yeah, Wood versus Emmett maybe next, depending on how things go. We'll go to the co-main of. Well, no, I don't think I did anything for the co-main. What do I do next? Delgado? Yeah. Delgado versus Gomez. Now, this would be a sick fight. I don't know where Gomez is. I think he fought in September and hasn't done anything since. So we can run this. Again, International Fight Week. Fuck it. On the prelims. If you saw this on the prelims and Kev versus Yair on the main card, we're already in for a good fight. Or a good card. This would be a sick fight. It'd be an entertaining fight for sure. I'd pick Delgado. Mostly because I don't want to pick a French guy. But it would be entertaining, like I said. Delgado looked good last night. It was a tough fight for him, like stylistically. I know I picked him by finish, but even getting a decision, that is still impressive. He looked good. We know he's still dangerous. He fought on last year's International Fight Week card and got a 30-second knockout, so hopefully he can replicate it. As for Gomes, he's like just outside the rankings. If he wins this, he'll probably get a ranked shot, I think. You know, he beat he beat a couple of these guys. He beat someone on short notice last September. I can't remember his name. I think he's fighting soon. I think he was like a KSW champion or something like that, or an Octagon champion. So yeah, this would be a good fight, good stylistic fight. It would be fun. Prelims of a pay-per-view. If you see a fight like this on the card, then you're already like, oh yeah, you know, this is going to be a good fight. I'm excited for this. Or a good card. I'm excited for this. Yeah, Delgado. As for Philly, Jack Jenkins. I'm not even going to try to do the accent right now because my voice is fucked. But this would be a sick fight. You can maybe do it on the Perth card. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Jenkins has a fight booked. I was on Tapology yesterday and he didn't. But I don't know if that's still just like not updated or something. But this would be a sick fight. Jenkins, he had the loss to Mariscal where he broke his arm or dislocated his shoulder or something. I can't remember what it was. And he came back with a win. Oh no, did he lose to? I think he lost that and then he beat someone and then lost to Santos and then beat someone again. I don't know. Either way, this would be a sick fight outside the rankings. This is why I want to see it. I want to see this for entertainment value. This is what Philly's good for now. You know, we know he's not one of these top guys in the division. We know he's not going to be fighting top 5 guys anytime soon. So just have fun fights outside the rankings. And then if he wins a few of them in a row, maybe he does get ranked again. But these are the type of fights we need to see Philly in. Like last night against Delgado. Like we saw against C-Rod. Just these are the perfect fights for him. This should be next in like 3-4 months, given some, well, a bit more time because he needs to recover. But this should be a good fight. And yeah, I don't even know. I don't even need to like sell this one. Like usually this fight, you know, it's gonna be a banger. As for the next fight on the card, I cannot remember what I did. Oh yeah, Rakai versus Charrier. Another French guy getting sacrificed. I like seeing it happen. Charrier sucks. I'm gonna be honest. Like I know he had a lot of hype, but he is not a good fighter whatsoever. He lost to a bunch of guys on Cage Warriors who aren't even in the UFC and aren't UFC level. He's lost in the UFC. Basically, anytime he's fought someone good. Go through his record. Like, he lost to Mariscal. He lost to Nathaniel Wood. He lost to Melky Costa. Like, as soon as he fights someone good, he loses. And the guys he's beaten are on, like, a 1-2 UFC record or something like that. So I think Rahiki would slump him out cold, and we can finally get rid of Charrier. I know Rahiki's got a lot of flaws in his game. Technically, he's not the best guy in the world, but he's got heart, he's got power. That's basically what you need to beat Charrier at this point. Like, he's not technically good. If like Nathaniel would drop them and hurt him bad. Sparked out by Melky with the head kick. Hurting basically every fight he's ever in. Nearly lost to Nate Landwehr last year. Like, yeah, he's not good. I think Rahiki would slump him. And maybe you put this on the Perth card because Rahiki, I'm pretty sure he trains in Australia. But that is like a 2-month turnaround after last night's fight. I think you'll want a bit more time off. Fuck, all these fights may as well just go on International Fight Week. I just built the International Fight Week out for them because it's in like 4 months. And yeah, this would be a good fight, like I said. Maybe they wait until the Paris card in September because that is 6 months. I feel like Rahiki might want to wait that amount of time. And Charrier, that would be like 9 months since he got slumped, which would be, again, good timing for him. But yeah, this would be the next fight. Would be sick. And yeah, I can't remember half of these fights that I made. Oh yeah, Harry Hardwick. I think this guy's name is Lee. I can't even remember. This is just the worst UFC fighter in the division that I could think of for Harry. He's had Kyle Fernandez and Rahiki in his first 2 UFC fights. Kyle Fernandez on short notice, upper weight class. Like, that is horrific matchmaking. If they cut him after this, the UFC just fucking, I don't even know. I don't think they will because obviously now in the Paramount era, they're kind of just caring about entertainment more. And after last night, you can't argue Hardwick's not entertaining. Like, I know he's not that good. He's not very skillful. But he's entertaining, he's tough. He's got a fucking insane chin. Puts on scraps. That's all you want. Guy can go on the prelims. Like, you see him on the prelims, it's like, oh yeah, that's a banger fight. You know what I mean? That's what we need out of Harry Hardwick. He's never going to be anything like top in the division. He's never going to fight in the rankings. Like a lot of these guys last night, but this would be a sick next fight for him versus Lee in like 6 months. And yeah, not in the Apex though. Fuck me. Next fight, Charles Johnson versus Asu Almabayev. Johnson's a weird one. He keeps losing to the top guy. No, he keeps beating the top guys and losing to the guys who aren't at the top. I think he should have lost last night. I think it was a robbery, but whatever. He should fight Asu. Asu obviously pulled out of the Moreno fight, so I feel like he should have to fight down now. Down the rankings, and Johnson's the right guy, I think. I do think Asu would win, probably pretty easily. I think he's pretty good. I know he looks shit in a lot of fights a lot of the time, but he finds a way to win. I think he could use his grappling here, get Johnson down a few times. Like Cody Durden did it. Every time I think of Charles Johnson, I'm like, oh, he's a pretty decent fighter, you know, he's done this, done that. And I just remember Cody Durden 30-27 in him. What the fuck? So yeah. Sumu Dachi. He robbed Sumu Dachi, man. What the fuck? But yeah, he should fight Asu. Yeah. I think Asu deserves to be fighting up the rankings, but because he pulled out, he should have to fight down, you know. And I don't think they'll do Rory Val versus Johnson, even though it would be cool. It's just hard because he keeps beating these top guys. So it's like, oh, he beat Cavana a year ago, so we should fight up the rankings. And then you remember 2 months ago, Alex Perez knocked him out. It's like, oh, but he should fight up the rankings again. It's like, oh, Tamirov just beat him. Or he just robbed Sumu Daji. Cody Durden just beat him. So it's a weird one with Charles Johnson, but I'd say Asu. If he loses this, then don't even bother giving him any more shots at the rankings, no matter how many times he beats a top contender, because it's just not worth it, bro. As for the next fight, I think it's Bruno Silva, yeah. He should fight Esteban. Now, Esteban's fighting Ethan Ewing, I think that's his name. I don't know what card it's on. But soon, if he wins, he should fight a ranked opponent, and I think the Silva's a good fight. Like, Esteban beat Charles Johnson. He lost to Esteban. Like, Charles Johnson's career is pissing me off. He beat Charles Johnson. He'd be 4-0 in the UFC if he gets the win in a few weeks. And this would be a sick fight. Silva's going to need a little bit of time to recover. It wouldn't surprise me if Esteban goes for a war with Ewing. If he loses, I'm not sure who's going to win that fight. If he loses, obviously, don't do this. And I don't think you do Ewing versus a ranked contender yet. So it would be something different. But this is just if he wins, which I'm leaning towards him right now. This is the fight to make. It will be a sick fight. Yeah, I feel bad for Silva. Robbed last night. But whatever. Move on to the next fight because I got a fucking bunch. I did so many. I did more than I normally do. Orobai versus Magny. I said this on the breakdown video I did for the card. Give him the Magny test and then give him a ranked opponent. They also could just throw him straight in the rankings now. I wouldn't mind that, but let him fight an actual welterweight first, not on middleweight. That's just dropped down a division. Let him feel that welterweight skill because we know Neil Magny. He's the absolute pinnacle of the sport at welterweight. You know, he look, what the fuck is wrong with his nose? Anyway, he does like the BFG. Anyone ever watched that? Or was that just me? Okay. Orobai, I think he would smoke him. I think he would just walk him down, just do what he did to Chris Curtis. No, not a single fighter in the UFC has less to offer than Neil Magny in the cage. Like, he just kind of stands there and just waits for shit to happen and then loses, which is sure cool, I guess. But yeah, Magny versus Orobai. Orobai's skill mugging these middleweights that are dropping down to welterweight. So like I said, get him against natural welterweight. I don't think he'd smoke him, but whatever. Cool fight, I guess. I think Orobai's going to run through a lot of guys at welterweight. Next fight on the card, or next fight to make after last night's card. This is what we want to see. Now, we saw last night Petrino versus one of the ultimate blobs of the UFC in Stephen Asplund. Now we need to see him versus the ultimate blob in the entire UFC. Shamil Gaziev, look at it. This is peak male physique right here. Both guys. I can't tell the difference, me personally, you know. I'm going to tell from the tattoos, but I think Petrino would smoke. Well, I don't know about smoking. Gaziev's not too bad for the division, you know. They got a couple of similar wins. Well, one, Peterson. They both lost fights recently. Yeah, kind of, did they? Did Petrino lose recently? It was like a year and a bit ago. That's kind of reason. Petrino does look interesting at heavyweight. Like, he gasses out easily, but so does every heavyweight. At least he does it because he's in shape and he's got a lot of muscle, not just because he's a fat fuck like the rest of the guys are. But yeah, Shamil's ranked, so I think, I've forgotten his name. Petrino does deserve a ranked opponent next. He's 3-0 since moving up to heavyweight. Gaziev's coming off a loss against Waldo, so he has to fight down the rankings. Put this on, they normally go to the Middle East in like June or July. Put this on that card. Or August, I can't remember. Put this on that card. Co-main event, fuck it, why not? Everyone would be hyped for that. But yeah, this is the fight we need to see. This would be absolute cinema. As for the next fight, Elijah Smith, I think he should fight Rob Font. Why is he flew in? Fuck, I messed that up. Font's outside the rankings now. And I think Smith needs one more before he fights someone in the top 15. And I think this is a good stylistic matchup. Font, we know his weakness is the grappling, so it would be interesting to see how much Smith wants to implement the grappling in this fight. But I could see this also just being a scrap on the feet, and I could see Rob Font getting the dub. I would pick Smith to finish him pretty confidently, but actually I don't even know if I pick him to finish him because Font's hard to finish. I don't think he's ever been knocked out or submitted in his career, which is kind of crazy to think about when you see how many times he's been wobbled and put in bad situations and stuff by literally everyone he fights. So it's kind of insane how he's never been finished, but he somehow never happened. Smith's obviously, I think like 90% of his wins are by finish, so we'll have to see. He got another one last night, even after a rough start, but he still looked good. Still got the W. That's all that matters. And yeah, this fight, fuck it. International Fight Week again. I'm building the whole card for them. Don't even need to do a card builder for it. I can just show this video. Anyway, next fight. I think this is the last one I made. I have no idea. Here it is. Souza versus Chris Padilla. Padilla was talking about potentially fighting Bobby Green soon. but I don't think that's happening anymore. So I think this should be next. Not in the Apex. Again, prelims of either main card of a fight night in front of a crowd or prelims of a pay-per-view. The only problem is I think Padilla might want to get back in there pretty soon, which Souza might not want to do. But I want to see this fight happen. This would be violence. This would be a sick fight. Padilla last beat Bonfirm. Obviously, Souza won last night against Oki. I think it should just be a war. I just want to see it. That's why I made this. Half of these fights are just fights that I want to see next because they'll be bangers. But yeah, Souza got the knockout win. He keeps coming back and beating guys in round 3, which is what Padilla did last fight. So fuck it. Maybe the first 2 rounds are shit and then we get a double KO in round 3. That'd be funny. But yeah, like I said, this should be next. And yeah, those are all the fights I think should be made. Obviously, the main one is Vallejos versus Emmett. This is the one we need. Don't make anything else. Don't do the Silva fight versus Emmett. Also, Silva versus Emmett. Silva versus Yair. Silva versus Vallejos, the rematch in a couple of years, gonna be fucking cinema. I can't wait to see that. But yeah, this is every fight that should happen. Kev, we are slamming out Yair at International Fight Week. It is gonna be beautiful. And yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Let's go. We are the future champ of this division.